Today I'm reviewing Invisible Soul by Adrian Vega, right here, right now. Stick around. Welcome everybody to my channel. Thank you for tuning in and spending some time with me for some magic reviews. Today I'll be reviewing Invisible Soul by Adrian Vega. But before we get into the review, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so that way you know when I have a new video uploaded. My magic trick, free magic trick giveaway starts the last week of July this month. And in order to be eligible, you need to be subscribed. Who doesn't like free magic? So with all that out of the way, let's get into the review. Invisible Soul by Adrian Vega. What is it? Invisible Soul is inspired by the Invisible Deck and a magic trick effect by Max Maven called Bwave, or B-Wave, some people call it. If you're not familiar with Bwave, a magician explains to a spectator that he's holding 4 queens. He then asks the spectator to merely think of a queen. You then reveal that their chosen card is the only face-up card in the 4 cards you're holding. You then also reveal that their chosen card has a completely different back. And the kicker ending, the other 3 cards are completely blank. Invisible Soul is basically the same thing, except with a whole deck of cards. You, the magician, will produce a deck of cards, remove them, then proceed to ask the spectator to merely think of a card. You, as a magician, will then fan the cards out and show that their chosen card is the only face-up card in the entire deck. You then go on to reveal that their chosen card has a completely different colored back. And the kicker ending, the entire deck of cards are blank. If the Invisible Deck and Bwave had a child, it would be called Invisible Soul. So what do you get for your $29.95 from your favorite Magic Murphy's dealer? You're going to get a bicycle deck of cards, and they're gimmicked, of course. Along with the deck, there's a special card included, so that way you add it to the deck in order to perform the effect. You're going to get a link to an instructional video. You're going to have Adrian Vega teaching you the Invisible Soul routine and how to handle the cards. The video is 20 minutes and 8 seconds long. It's well lit. You're having Adrian Vega standing at a table, well lit, clear sound, and no music in the background. Is it well made? It's a standard bicycle-made deck, except that it's gimmicked. It'll last you as long as any other deck of cards will last you. As long as you take care of them, keep them in the tuck case when you're not using them. Don't ding them, bend them, and you should get plenty of performances out of this. If you're familiar with the Invisible Deck, you're not going to have any problem with this. If you're not familiar with the Invisible Deck, it's not hard to learn at all. I would say that this is a beginner to beginner intermediate skill level. But as always, watch the video all the way to the end and practice before you perform. Is there any DIY? Not really. Not really. There's a small thing that Adrian Vega explains to do to the cards when you get them in order to identify the spectator's chosen card quickly. He also explains that there's something that you may want to do to the tuck box when you get it in order to remove the deck of cards and the special cards easily. I didn't have to do that to my tuck box. This is an optional thing that he explains. You'll figure that out when you get your effect, but it's optional, and I had no problem with it. I didn't have to do that. He also uses a wine glass in the performance. This is optional. He explains in the video that he thinks that it's elegant, but it's not It's not a must. That's optional. You can perform this standing up or sitting down at a table. How are the angles? The angles are pretty good. You've seen in the performance video that he has most of his audience in front of him, but you could pretty much have this done with people here on your sides. Directly on your sides, I wouldn't get them too close to shoulder angle, and of course, not behind you. That's almost always a given. I would also be aware of your bottom angle. I'd be careful not to flash the bottom and perform this down at table level, or if you're standing, keep it low so that way you watch your bottom angles. So the angles are great. I would also say that there's no slights. There's hardly any moves involved with Invisible Soul. Really no slights at all. You will do a force with this effect, but it's not a card sleight force. Adrian Vega is going to teach you a psychological force. If you're familiar with Max Maven's Wave, as we spoke about earlier in the video, that also uses a psychological force. Adrian Vega will go over this with you in the video, and it's simple. It's not hard to learn at all. Reset. This is not instant reset. This will take you a moment to reset. If you're table hopping, you will need to step off to the side by yourself to reset this before you go on to your next performance. Will it take you long? No, it shouldn't take you more than a minute to reset, but it is not instant reset. Is this inspectable? Absolutely not. You will need to have some audience management if your spectator or audience want to examine these cards. So yeah, you will need some audience management. This is great for close-up, stage, absolutely. Table hopping, like we talked before, this is great for table hopping, but you will need to step to the side to reset this before you go on to perform to the next table or your next spectator. Let's talk about the good and the bad. The good, it's a strong effect. It's visual. The only face-up card in the deck, the back is changed color, and the entire deck is blank. The angles are good, and it's easy to perform. Let's talk about the bad. It's not inspectable, as I said. Your audience or spectators cannot examine these cards. The reset is not instant. It's not incredibly long, but you will need to step off to your side for a few moments to reset this effect. Oh, and the only other thing that I can say bad about this is it only comes in red bicycle. This does not come in blue. So my take on Invisible Soul by Adrian Vega, I'm giving it a 9. Strong, visual, easy to perform, angles are good. And that's my review of Invisible Soul by Adrian Vega. Please take the time to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I got some good magic trick reviews coming up, and I will see you in the next video.